In a shockingly honest video, a speaker by the name of Asadullah Ali admits the level of doubt and apostasy among young Muslims is at a record level and has increased over the years. This is your friendly ex-Muslim. Let's get into it. First of all, who is Asadullah? Asadullah is the Islamic name of Kevin, an American who became Muslim many years ago. We have a bit of a history together, so to speak. It's a bit of a long story, but I was introduced to Asadullah by a mutual friend, Eddie. That's the same Eddie of the Deen Show. You see, I was actually a collaborator of Eddie when I was Muslim. I'd done some behind-the-scenes support work for his website and had spoken to him several times before. So when I left Islam, we had a long chat about it and he decided to send me to an expert friend of his. An expert on what, you might ask? An expert on atheism. So Asadullah recommended I watch his boring-ass 6-part video series on understanding atheism, which ironically was more for a Muslim crowd who was having doubts about Islam and trying to keep them in line, not for someone who had already seen that Islam was false and now wanted a reason to believe in it. So of course it didn't help me, but Asadullah decided to keep me around on his friends list. This wasn't exactly a good idea and Asadullah eventually blocked me after having enough of me. None of this really matters though, except it's a fun story and gives you some context to who he is and how I know him. So let's watch his video.
Over the course of the last couple of years, I've been attending a number of MSAs and youth organizations. And some of the things that the Muslim youth approach me with have not only been shocking, but at the same time enlightening. So I wish to share some of those stories with you, and then we can go into the substance of this lecture. So one of the more shocking things that I have experienced over the course of those years are the number of young boys and girls, aged between 13 to 18, who have openly declared their apostasy to me. And I'm talking within the hundreds. Okay? However, at the same time, they have also declared to me that they are hufad, they are hafiz of the Quran. They are leading prayers in the masjid. They are engaged in madrasa, education. Okay? And they are still leading that life, while simultaneously declaring their apostasy. Now, of course, they're not open about it, but they've shared it with me because of their concerns. They don't understand why they don't believe. They don't understand why they don't love Islam. They don't understand why they don't believe in God. And there are a number of concerns that they have that they feel have never been addressed. Then among that group are some, believe it or not, who have approached me confused about their sexual identity. Concerned that they're not normal because they're attracted to the same sex, or they think they are. Some have also approached me discussing issues of abuse among family members. Some have also approached me discussing issues of sexual abuse, molestation, harassment by their fellow brothers and sisters in faith. And you're probably wondering how I was able to come across all of these stories and why those individuals had confided in me. Well, it has a lot to do with my own past and my ability to connect with these kids, as I was not Muslim before. I reverted to Islam, alhamdulillah. And I'm able to open up to these kids, and I give them a safe space to discuss these issues. But the number of children, teens, and young adults who I've engaged with in the United States, who declare themselves to be Muslim openly but are not so, or are confused and do not understand what it means to be Muslim, is dramatic and alarming, to say the least. And the first question that comes to mind as to why or how so many of these concerns are brought up, so many of these doubts, the number one question that comes in my mind is, why are they talking to me? Why are they talking to their parents? Why are they talking to the imams? The sheikh, the scholars. Why are they talking to me? I'm nobody. And then I ask them this question, because I say this, I said, I'm nobody. Okay? I have some knowledge, but I'm compared to these people, I'm nothing. Why are you talking to me? And the same answer, I get the same answer from every single one of them. They're scared to tell their parents. They're scared to tell the imam. They're scared to tell the sheikh. They're scared to tell their scholars. They're scared to be shamed. They're scared no one will understand them. And they feel as though even when they give clues, the first reaction is either anger or isolation. And this is almost across the board. Of course, everyone has differing experiences. Not everyone is the same. But generally speaking, this is the same answers that I've received.
So to summarize, there are hundreds of young men and women who have openly admitted to Asadullah that they are apostates. This includes Muslims who have memorized the Quran, are still leading prayers and involved in madrasa, aka Islamic education. Just imagine that. The imam leading your prayer at your mosque, he might be an apostate. Who knows who else is an apostate? The number of people who are openly Muslim but are not is, and I quote, dramatic and large. Then there are also Muslims who are LGBT, who he says think they are attracted to the same sex. It's pretty funny. Did you ever wonder, am I really attracted to the opposite sex? Maybe I'm not. Give me a break. In regards to the apostasy and the scale of it, Asadullah is not alone here. Sheikh Saeed Rage, Dr. Abu Amina Bilal Phillips, Yasir Qadi, and others have openly acknowledged this. They've used words like tsunami is coming. So this is not a one-off. This is a pattern now. The most important benefit from the growing number of apostates is that dissent will become normalized. This is one of the most important goals of the ex-Muslim movement, to normalize apostasy, to allow freedom of religion. Islam stands alone in that many Muslims still preach that the punishment for apostasy is death in an Islamic state. Clowns like Ali Dawa squawk, we're proud of that! And he's not alone. It's very much agreed by Muslims that this applies to this day, if the correct conditions are there, aka Islamic State, alongside jihad and slavery. Lastly, Asadullah got quite angry at my tweet about him deleting his video. I mistakenly assumed he took it down because he regretted posting it because of the content. He wrote a long, scathing post on Facebook accusing me of stalking his page, which is actually quite funny. The reason I heard about this video is because I have people who regularly watch such content and ask me to respond to it. I mean, he should know that. He's in the same situation. People send him my videos all the time. He doesn't stalk my page. This is exactly what happened. A friend of mine who still watches Asadullah saw the video and notified me that it was worth discussing. Asadullah accused me of capitalizing on trauma because the video was actually about mending relationships between children and the elders, and apparently I didn't care about that. I am going to say I will give credit to Asadullah here. He's doing a good thing, to be honest. I don't want to hear more stories of Muslims kicked out of their homes or ostracized or even abused over leaving Islam. If he can normalize the questioning and doubt, if he can bring about better relationships between Muslim children, or at least contribute to this, if he can contribute to the Muslim community having better relationships between children and their parents, that's a good thing. I don't particularly believe that this will stop the tsunami, but at the end of the day, I do support his goal of parents having a better understanding of the Western Muslim child's mindset. This is a lofty goal. While he wants them to remain Muslims, and I don't particularly care if they do, and probably prefer if they don't, we can all agree that having better parent-child relationships are important for a society. If anything, this issue is about to get a whole lot bigger. Unless more people openly speak about apostasy in the community, the gap is going to get worse. Asadullah did a good thing here being honest about it, and I hope more people do the same. What I care about is not whether people leave Islam or not, although I do think it's probably a good thing if they do, because Islam is false and it's a mental slavery to someone else's false ideas. But really, The point is, we can help people to live the life they want. Living a double life comes at a price. It sucks the life out of you. So this is reassuring. This means that our work is not done, but we're doing something right. We have to continue fighting as change is happening. Sea-level change is coming. Maybe not within our lives, but it's happening. We are fighting for people's rights to live the life the way they want to. There's nothing more important than freeing people from these shackles, because piece by piece, society will improve. We need to help people to leave behind the God that Muhammad invented for his own personal benefit. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, consider joining me on Patreon to help me to make more such videos. This is Abdullah Samir signing out.